There are not many airlines flying today which have gone through the unique set of challenges that Malaysia Airlines has seen in the last 15 years, and still come out on the other side, as a renewed symbol of heritage and progress for the country. Heritage was always in their roots, as they first began as Malayan Airways in 1947, but their transformation, retransformation, and shall we say, re-transformation, have been a long process, which led to Malaysia Airlines returning to stability for the first time now in quite a while. By the way, if you're ever curious about the price that I paid for this flight, or the equipment that I use on a daily basis while traveling and creating, all of that can be found in the description below. Let me welcome any of you that might be new to the channel. My name is Kevin. Over the last 5 years, I've flown over 130 airlines, so I could bring you my self-funded, drama-free, and honest takes on them all. Not to mention the over 200 hotels and resorts that I've reviewed so far. Scan the QR code to explore the destinations I've covered and learn more about the channel. Right now, we're heading to Terminal 1 and Kuala Lumpur International Airport. This used to be known as KLIA-1 or just KLIA, with AirAsia's very separate terminal referred to as KLIA-2. But now we're back to just using a simpler Terminal 1 and Terminal 2. The terminal was designed by Kisho Kurogawa and opened in 1998. Of all of the major airports built in the 90s, I do have to say, this is one that doesn't feel like it, especially once through the check-in hall. The head house and the satellite both feel more modern than the era that they were designed in, perhaps due to many Malaysian and Islamic design cues incorporated into the architecture, giving it a classically modern feel. Check-in counters for business class are behind a bit of a wall and are always well staffed. One World elites can also check in here. Malaysia's aviation history is unique in two ways. First, their ties to the UK and what that meant for the nation in the early 21st century as the Kangaroo Route and others were established. Secondly, for their on-again and off-again relationship, as far as airlines go, with Singapore. They began as Malayan Airways in the 40s and had their first international flight to Hong Kong in 1957. 6 years later, they became Malaysian Airlines for a short time until Singapore was expelled and Malaysia Singapore Airlines was formed. In retrospect, it was really that 6-year partnership that led both Malaysia Airlines and Singapore Airlines to exactly where they are today. In the 1970s, their priorities were forging on different paths. Singapore, being a city-state, had no real reason to focus on Malaysian domestic routes. And Malaysia certainly did. In 1972, they split, and Malaysia Airlines System was formed. This led to MAS focusing on domestic and regional services, while the newly formed Singapore Airlines began an incredibly ambitious campaign to connect Singapore to the entire world. To this day, both airlines still follow the same paths. These days, Malaysia Airlines has a fleet made up of 737s, A330s, and A350s. If you're flying on one of their 737s, your gate will most likely be from here in the head house, and you can head to the regional business class lounge. Long-haul flights would generally depart from the satellite terminal, which has its own much larger lounge. If you're enjoying the video and would like to support the channel, there are many ways that you could do so. A quick like on the video and subscribe helps with the algorithm, or you could check out my Patreon linked in the description below. On Patreon, I post everything from early access or Patreon-only videos, to newsletters, my best tips and tricks to save money on travel, glimpses behind the scenes, detailed advanced itinerary maps, and much, much more. Think of it as a toolbox to save money on or simply improve your next trip, especially if it's in Southeast Asia. If you have specific questions about your upcoming trips, I can help with that too. Whatever you do though, thanks very much for doing it. Their current fleet mix is of course the result of tragedies in 2014. The disappearance of MH370 in March, and the downing of MH17 in July, both of which flown on 777 aircraft. In their years of reinventing themselves following 2014, they retired the remaining 777s and streamlined their fleet as they desperately tried to right-track and right-size the airline operations. And that brings us to where we are today, a much more stable flag carrier with a mostly regional network that does extend to Europe and Australia. With 81 aircraft in the fleet and 83 on order, modernization and growth, but at the correct pace, are now the name of the game. In Terminal 1, all security is completed at each gate directly. After passing through that, we had a short wait until it was time to board our 12-year-old 737-800. I've flown this product a number of times, and I believe I've shown it to you twice before. When I'm flying within the Southeast Asia region, it's a rarity for me to pay for business class seats for these short flights, since the low-cost carriers in the region are reliable and generally a heck of a lot cheaper. Malaysia Airlines is the exception to that simply because of their short-haul business class fares, which are consistently the cheapest in the region, often flirting with $150 one-way fares between Kuala Lumpur and Saigon. My opinions on the seats remain the same. The seat itself is comfortable. The only two negatives for me are the very limited amount of underseat storage. It won't even fit my 23-liter backpack, along with the tablet holder, which will launch your tablet at you if the seat in front of you is quickly reclined. Pre-departure drinks and hot towels were passed around. Note that on this airline, all domestic flights and regional flights under 3 hours are completely dry. Standard comforts on board before we get into the meal service. Served as an efficient single tray, the starter is smoked duck with pasta salad. For the main course, there's a choice of 3 mains: Thai green curry, red snapper in curry kandar, or beef goulash with gravy, potato mousseline, and mixed vegetables. I went with the third option, and overall it was really tasty. The vegetables were kinda cooked beyond belief, but this is one of those mix it all up, enjoy together type of dishes, so it wasn't a big deal. The dessert was an amazingly flavorless vanilla panna cotta with strawberry coulis. Overall, I think a 7 out of 10 is warranted here. Bathrooms on board were kept clean throughout, and soon enough we were descending into a darkening Saigon. I think their ranking for now is good right where they are. Enjoy the clear nighttime landing passing by downtown Saigon. So I really do hope that you enjoyed this quick trip report today. If you did, please be sure to click the like button and subscribe with notifications on so you don't miss my twice weekly videos. I'll see you next time on China Eastern from Singapore. As always, thanks for watching until the end.